Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Just a Burst of Gold. And in this series, or this session of this series, we're going to be talking about station rotation. And these are just quick bursts of information that you get to learn quickly and kind of get a resource as well. So right here, we've got station rotation. The link for this resource is in the description of the YouTube channel, or you can also look at it in the chat. I just threw the link right into the chat, so feel free to look at this resource. You can also make a copy, change the colors, change the any of the wording that you might need to. So station rotation is a great way to engage your students, and it's a great first step into blended learning. And so with station rotation, there are typically 4 different stations that students are working through out the class period. And for this class period, there is a 10-minute timer. And let's say, for example, that this class period is like an hour long. So 10 minutes would mean that these are all 40 minutes. I would typically do an entrance ticket or maybe a quick mini lesson at the beginning as a whole group activity. And so let's say that takes about 10 minutes. And then we have 10 minutes for station 1. And station 1, we're going to look at group 1 because all of these stations you can see kind of switch throughout as the timers go. And station 1 is meeting with Miss Howe. So for example, students would meet with me in group 1, and I'm pretty strategic about how I have my students meeting with me. This might be the group of students that need some extra assistance throughout the lesson, and they might need a quick check-in with me so that they're able to know what they need to do for their next steps. The next one might be independent practice. And you can kind of see here, group 4 has independent practice first. These students might be part of my higher group that are able to move quickly, and they, from the mini lesson, they quickly understood where they need to start with that independent practice. As you get going with blended learning, I might also have that group 4 meet with me last, so that way when they come in tomorrow, they're able to do that independent practice really quickly. Independent practice could always be a review as well. So it could be what they've learned yesterday and they're doing it on their own as a review. So depending on my students and their knowledge, I'm able to go in and kind of see, okay, what type of activities do I need to plan for them? But I also am pretty strategic and intentional about how I set up the different activities for the students. Right here is the 5 C's activity. These are like engaging activities that the students usually enjoy. And so with the 5 C's in our district, we have 5 of them. There's typically 4. So we have creativity, communication. We also have critical thinking, communication. I can never always say them off the top of my head when I'm live. Collaboration, communication, creativity, and we also added like a community type of activity as well. So these are just really fun activities for the students. Some of them are like problem-based learning. Some of these might be like design thinking type activities. It could also be where the students are just working with a group and they're playing a game to review the concepts. So they're working with a partner, or they're creating something like a Canva activity, an infographic. Maybe they're creating a video. And all of those different kinds of activities. This 5C activity might not take that whole 10 minutes. So sometimes that 5C activity is a week-long project, and the students then have a total of 40 minutes to work on that project. And by the end, then they'll be finished with it. So it could not take maybe in one class period. So just kind of keep that in mind, what type of 5C activity you're handing to the students. Another thing with the 5C activity is you might need to create like a timeline for your students if you are going to break it up into do 10 minutes here, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. And you might want to just say after this part of this class, you need to have up to here done. If you get more, great. But if this is what is expected for you to get done during that time period. And then digital content. Digital content could be like an Edpuzzle, working on iReady, ST Math, any of those type of activities where the students are kind of learning from the computer could be part of that digital content. Okay. And then again, group 2 is working on digital content first, then they're meeting with me, then they're doing that independent practice, and then they're doing the 5Cs. And then you can kind of see how group 3 is working in group 4. And so just a reminder that you could use any of these different types of, you can kind of create your own vision of what you want this to look like. And again, just kind of think about, how am I going to group my students? What activities do I need to put in place for them to be successful? And then just kind of look at your lesson and how can you break that apart into 4 different stations? And these are just some really great ideas on how to do that when you're first starting out. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining Gold EDU today. And make sure you check out the Gold EDU website for more upcoming events. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.